we're into canceling, cancel culture, right? So being that we're into the cancel culture, I want to make one recommendation towards you all, and that's to cancel the conscious community. We don't need it anymore. You understand? At one point in time, I'm not gonna lie, when I was young, in the 90s, we needed the conscious community. The conscious community was the only community that was there that gave us the information, the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Whether it had something to do with African American knowledge, like prime example, knowing about the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, or whether it was, African knowledge prior to us being kidnapped and brought over here, and we lived in Africa. Well, I'll say some of us, not all of us or most of us, lived in Africa. We were the original Egyptians. So in other words, that was an outlet for us to get the information and the knowledge that we needed. Fast forward to 2021, we no longer need the conscious community because of the fact that we have something as simple as our cell phones, a tablet, a laptop, a home desktop computer. And all we have to do is Google whatever we need to know. And the reality of it is that the journey was always within. And that the only leader that you should follow is yourself. So what do you need a leader for? What do you need a conscious community for? You understand? If you don't, for a sense of pride, to say that you're part of something, to be proud of it, why? Well, you can have a sense of pride and proud to be a part of who and what you are. Because ultimately, if I'm not mistaken, under the umbrella of the conscious community lies different organizations, and those organizations supposed to teach you knowledge of self, supposed to give you that sense of that journey within. So why do we need the conscious community any longer? Well, I can tell you off the rip, the conscious community in 2021 has been weaponized. So at the end of the day, it has been used against us, just like hip hop is. Plain and simple. When you really look at the conscious community and the leaders that are in the conscious community, or teachers, or whatever you want to call them, street scholars, all of them are corrupt, tainted. Sinetta always want money. He was the one that originally started this beef, battling and shit with one teacher against another, and he making money off of it. Sinetta always is and always will be about bread, period. See, you all know him from YouTube. I knew him. I don't know him like he knows me and I know him. Not that type of relationship we have, a friendship or whatever. I'm talking about I know him, meaning that back in the days when I sold bootleg movies and CDs, I had to walk past his table. And it's crazy how he'll sit back and say that everybody's bootlegging my shit. Everybody's taking my videos and putting on their channel and monetizing my video so they can make money. You were the original bootlegger, Sinetta. You were out there bootlegging conscious shit. So get out of here with that. DVDs and books and stuff like that. But I would have to walk past his table back in the days when I was selling bootleg movies like The Matrix, Scream, Next Friday and shit like that. And he'll be on a bullhorn, running his mouth and saying this and that and so forth. So he's been doing that shit since day one. Scheming and scamming. Dr. Umar, now out of 30 years later, he got I don't even want to call it a school. I'll call it a building with a bunch of mold on the walls and the ceilings. Young Pharaoh, allegedly, because you all like to use that word as if it's a new word that was created, allegedly hit his baby mama. Polite, scammer, stealing people's money. Now he's a pedophile. And last but not least, Dr. Malachi York, that's serving 135 years in jail. I don't understand how in the hell you all follow him. Period. I still don't get it. And His information you could Google it right now. You can see him on YouTube right now stating that he is guilty for the things that they have charged him with. I don't get it. At the end of the day, I know that we needed the conscious community when I was in the 90s because we did not have any type of outlet for as receiving information. But now we have the internet. So why are you all still following? I don't get that. Now is not the time to be a follower. You need to be a leader of self, our own self. That is it. And I know what the I know what the Sabians, or rather the Nuwabis, are gonna say. They're gonna say that they never were under the umbrella of the conscious community, but they were in the 90s. They were. That's how I became a part of it. Period. And I'll never forget it. I was hesitant at first because they were telling me that the Dr. York is this, Dr. York is that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm coming from a Christian background. You got to understand that. And I'm not afraid, ashamed, and embarrassed to admit that I didn't know shit. I was just as sleep as anybody else was or is. Ignorant, stupid, didn't know nothing. Gullible, naive. I came from a single parent household, so therefore I didn't have a father figure in my life to tell me right from wrong. And if I did, I would have never became a part of that organization. Period. I suffered from low self-esteem. I was easy for the catch. So in the very beginning, I was reluctant to join that organization. But as they kept on drilling it to me, drilling it, boom, I'm like, yo, I'm on it. And from sun up and sundown, I worship that man called Dr. Malachi York. See, some people are embarrassed. Some people don't want to tell their stories. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to make themselves look stupid. But I'm here to make myself look stupid, so therefore you won't have to be looking stupid later on. I'm telling you, it's a dead-end street. Joining any of these cults or organizations that's under the umbrella of the conscious community, or believing in any type of street scholar, leader, or whatever they want to call themselves that's under the umbrella of the conscious community. If you want to believe in someone, if you want to follow someone, that someone that you need to believe and follow is you. That plain and simple. It's 2021. We need to cancel the conscious community. We need to shut down all these so-called street scholars, these leaders, these teachers, because they're no good. That plain and simple. They're not worth shit. I can tell you that. Yeah, true indeed. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I wasn't there when Dr. Malachi York was molesting those children. I wasn't physically there. But guess what? At the end of the day, let's just push that to the side and say that he didn't do anything to, with those children. He's still guilty of other shit that he did. And that was manipulating the hearts and minds of people that he knew were frail and weak. You see, people such as Dr. Umar, Sinetta, and Young Pharaoh, they know they can manipulate black people, because black people don't know shit. Black people are easily tricked and deceived, and black people are always looking for that Messiah type to save them. They know they can't bring that bullshit to the white community, because the white community would be like, man, what the fuck you talking about? I'm about to do some research, and I'm about to bust your ass when I come back and tell you how wrong you are. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the reason why you got a lot of people out here that have followed Dr. Malachi York and have left, but you don't ever hear them say anything. It's because they're embarrassed. They don't want to talk about how fucked up in the head they once were. I don't have a problem with that, because I'm not that same type of person that I was when I was part of that cult. And I really do care about people. I really do. And I don't want to ever see anyone go through the shit that I've been through. Period. So I'm glad that shit happened to Paul. Like, I hate that it happened to that child. I hate what he did to that child. But I'm glad it happened to him, because at the end of the day, now when you see him go live on Instagram, you see just how full of shit he is. Straight up. That plain and simple. So now everything that he's saying is just like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You can see through the bullshit. Now you're not brain dirty. Now you're brainwashing yourself. You're cleansing yourself of all the bullshit. That plain and simple, man. We need to cancel the conscious community. And it needs to be shut down for good. Nobody needs to make money off of our ignorance anymore, of our stupidity, of our weakness, period. And what we need to do, I'm not trying to be funny, because I know what the conscious community says. Don't go to the white man's school and the white man's college. And no, what you need to do is take your black ass to if you don't want to go to the white man's college, so to speak, go to HBCU and get you a college education. Or do your due diligence when it comes to information, knowledge, because the internet is available. So I don't understand why you all are not taking advantage of that in 2021. How are you still following the likes of Nature Boy, Young Pharaoh, Dr. Umar, Polite, and the list goes on? How? I can see in 1993 and 1994 we didn't have the internet. I can understand that, but in 2021, you're still following a man that has been convicted and charged and convicted, and is now serving 135 years, called Dwight York, also known as Dr. Malachi York, Amanubi Rakpata, Afreti Atumre, Pa Nabab Yanun. That doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I know once I walked away from all of that fuckery, my life got better. And I can tell you that I'm on the up and up. And it's not I'm not on the come up off of climbing over black souls. I'm not on the come up off of taking money out of the black community, stealing money out of the black community. No, I'm on the come up because I came up on my own. Period. That plain and simple. And can't nobody take that from me. 'Cause I did that shit on my own. Can't nobody say that I used and abused them. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That at the end of the day, for real, the journey is within you. And that you need to find out what you're supposed to do on this planet while you're here. Because it's damn for sure not doing what Dr. Malachi York tell you to do. Dr. Umar tell you to do. Young Pharaoh tells you to do. Nature Boy tells you to do. And Polite tells you to do. It's what you tell you to do. That's what it's about. See, I don't have no problem with telling people that, hey man, I fell for the okie doke. None at all, because I'm human. I don't have a problem with telling people when I put out some bad information or some wrong information or whatever, because I'm human and I'm supposed to do that. When I do something wrong, or if I gave out the wrong information, I'm supposed to be man enough to say, hey, listen, man, I apologize, my bad, da-da-da-da-da. That plain and simple. Not too long ago, I was talking about upstate New York and how it ain't nothing to do, and a brother schooled me on it's Niagara Falls and Syracuse and this and that and so forth, and I was like, yo, man, I stand to be corrected. You're right, I apologize. Yo, watch out for leaders. If you want to continue to follow, then maybe I should just give you, for you people that want to be followers, maybe I should give you some jewels, one jewel on if you want to continue to follow, so-called street scholars and leaders or whatever. Watch out for those that are never apologetic. Watch out. I've never seen or heard Polite, Dr. Umar, Young Pharaoh, Nature Boy. Have I forgotten anybody? Dr. Malachi York, Polite, yeah. I've never heard any of them apologize. I've never seen any of them being just being humble. I've always seen, when it comes to those street scholars, leaders, or whatever the hell you want to call them, narcissism. That's That's all I see when I look at Nature Boy. That's all I see when I look at Young Pharaoh. That's all I see when I look at Dr. Umar, Polite, Dr. Malachi, and the list goes on. That's all I see. Narcissistic ways, ego, pride. And it's crazy when you take that journey within. You learn to shed those illnesses off. So, let me explain something to you. For those that follow. Another jewel. Stop following after the shiny quarter. Stop. You know how Polite got to you? Because of his cars and his women. But that's his cars and his women. And you don't know what happens behind the scenes. Meaning that once he says cut, everybody walks away. He may have rented that Rolls Royce, and those females, he might have bought them and said, hired them and said, yo, you do A, B, and C while the cameras move, going, and I'll pay you $100 per episode. And they did it, and then after that, they took off their tight clothes and was like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow or whenever you need me. You don't know. You just don't know. I'm going to end it like this, man. I'm going to say two things. The first thing is this. 2021 are for the ugly people. I'm going to say it. With ugly people, and I'm not pointing a finger at anyone, but what happened with ugly people was this. They figured it out. I'm ugly. My face is ugly, but if I decorate myself, right? If I put on MAC makeup, if I put several pounds of makeup on my face, I'll be able to look decent. In other words, cosmetics. I could put on cosmetic jewelry, clothing, cosmetic, paint my face, and I'm good. So if you ugly and you got money, you could be able to decorate your body to make yourself look good, but in reality, you're ugly. On the outside as well as in the inside. Period. That's what I see when I see Polite. Ultimately, you wouldn't fuck with that nigga. Straight up. You wouldn't even hang out with him. But being that he is cosmetically made himself up to look a certain kind of way, you follow him. But just imagine if he just had on what he typically had on in the very beginning. For those that really follow Polite. When he had that, New Covenant. And he had that dumbass emblem knitted on his shirt that anybody could have got. With when he had where the United States meets Africa, and it was the United States and Africa joined together. And it was just a rinky-dink ass polo shirt. Would you follow him then? No. When he was wearing that ninja outfit and sitting on the bench with Noah Lopez, I think that's his name, and saying, well, I don't care whether Dr. York did what they said he did. Regardless, he's my father. He's my God. We should have questioned Polite right then and there when he said that. So stop paying attention to the shiny quarter. Stop it. Pay attention to any and everyone. And know this, right? This is the second thing. Regardless of whether it's me on YouTube or anyone else, take the information that you feel as though that is good for you, apply it to your life, and if it works, it works. The rest of the shit that we say that's worth nothing to you, throw that shit in the trash. And I'm telling you, your life will be 10 times better. Other than that, don't forget, we need to cancel the conscious community. Other than that, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this video. Peace.